everyone, welcome to another episode of TamTonight. I took a little bit of time off. I had a bunch of stuff going on. My older sister, it was her birthday. My little brother graduated from high school. Shout out to you up there on to big things. I went on a hike with my good friend Asha and her cousin. I hadn't seen her for a long time, so we hung out and just taking like some personal time, some reflective time. Watching all this protest stuff has been like a lot for me. Has been very mixed emotions, high emotions. Haven't really gotten any good sleep since this whole thing started. So yeah, I just want to get straight into it. Also, let's celebrate that I now, or we, because we a group, we now have over 100 subscribers, a part of the TamTonight family. Now, before, I think I announced it a little bit prematurely, but now we for sure have over 100. I think it's like 102. So shout out to all of us coming together, supporting one another. I also want you to please leave your if it's social media, if you want me to subscribe to your YouTube channel, please leave it in the comments below on one of these videos so I can shout you out, and I'll add a little segment to the show for my, TamTonight family reunion, my TamTonight cousins. Boom. So now, also, I do not have nails by Shalom this week because I was working very tirelessly on NRK. Kind of had been letting it slip since all of the stay-at-home coronavirus stuff happened. I didn't really know if people would be interested in buying clothes or if that was frivolous or if it was a good use of my time or whatever. It was just very conflicting for me, especially as a black person right now and what's going on. But I had to remember and remind myself that I started NRK for several reasons, not just to sell stuff. So I am taking that back up, putting it on my back, and moving forward. I have a bunch of t-shirts, a bunch of stuff available. I got beanies now. I'm working on some custom merch for some of my people that I want to be, I don't want to call it like an influencer or anything, but just an NRK ambassador, So I'll be working on all of that stuff, getting that stuff out within the month of June. And yeah, so I've been very busy. I have not been neglecting y'all. I love y'all very much. We here, we close. So first up in Bolitics is just the state of America. So since my previous episode, it's been about 2 weeks, a bunch of stuff has happened, starting with the death of George Floyd. I think a bunch of outlets have talked about that at length. It makes me really sad. On my previous episode, I had just talked about MOTW. So for it not to even be a month, and we're faced with much of the same thing, but even worse, it just gives credence to everything I said previously, like systematic racism, oppression, even the concept of police and the police force was created to keep black people in check. So with everything that I know about history and all this stuff, and it's just a lot for me to sit back and sort of act like these marches and these protests and all that is enough, or that it even really is significant in the way that it should be significant. Another thing is, I do not want to seem like a pessimist in any way, because that's not my vibe. I am a person that I believe that if you work hard, you can achieve great things and all of that. I don't think that, many things could stop you when you are determined. If you have a plan, you stick to it, all of that. But as a black person in America, my grandmother, with this riot thing, I came over to her house to speak with her and check on her and all of that. And she, brought up a really interesting point that she was pregnant with my uncle during the Watts riots in the 60s. Which happened because on a street that I grew up on, 115th and Wadsworth, I went to 116th Street School Elementary, the police beat up a black man, among other things. So it's that kicked off. My mom was pregnant with me during the Rodney King riot and had to leave LA and basically moved out to the Inland Empire. And now we're in our third, rights of America because of the same thing. Now, in one black person's lifetime, my grandmother's lifetime, she got to see Martin Luther King walk and get the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and other things passed. She saw JFK get assassinated. She saw every black hero get assassinated. Okay. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, plenty of Black Panthers that were imprisoned. Just crazy stuff. In one black person's life, my grandma's not even 80 years old. She has seen all of this. So it is hard for me at 27, knowing what I know about history and the concept of time and things, It is hard for me to accept that these marches and these protests and all this are, number one, genuine, and from a place of people are really tired of Black oppression and they really want us to be treated as equal and they really want us to get the full rights of citizenship in America, starting with like reviewing that Constitution and taking out the fact that we're 3/5 of a person. Like, a bunch of small things could be done, but it seems people like hitting the street and making a sign was so much easier than pressing the buttons and calling people and emailing and voting and doing things and getting our political officers that aren't doing nothing for us out of office. Like, showing up to a march, making a sign, hanging out with your friends. And I'm not saying that it's not a big deal, because I've seen the people that got shot in the face with rubber bullets. I've seen the people that got maced and tear gassed and etc. There are people in the hospital. There are people that have like trumped up charges for beating up officers and things, stuff that didn't occur. So I don't want to make it seem like marching and protesting is not important. But what I'm saying is, for the wide variety of people that were out there, because I did not just see Black people, not in one march did I just see Black people, or even majority Black people. For all of those people, it would have been much better use of their privilege, in my opinion, from what I know about America, to sort of take stands in other ways outside of just marching in the street with us. America is a capitalist country. People have been marching this 2 weeks, right? There's been demonstrations all over major cities in other countries, all that, solidarity. If all of the Black people marched, and all of the different colored allies that went out and tried to have our back and show up, if they stayed home and didn't buy nothing, if they decided to not purchase any gas, if they decided to collectively remove their money from banks, we would have had a much more serious impact. So, again, not to be a pessimist, but I feel like a lot even of the outpouring and the people out in the street and the support is due to other factors. Number one being that coronavirus came and knocked people out of their spots. Okay, we have 40 million or more unemployed at this point that applied for unemployment. Does not count the people that dropped out of the employment. They're not looking for jobs anymore, and they can't reapply once they're out. So we got 40 million people, 40 million plus, no jobs, no income, no real prospects other than the gig economy that I hate. Politicians and business people love to hype up, but you don't got no benefits, and it's not job security, and it's not nothing compared to a regular paycheck that's coming for you every 2 weeks. It's not the same. Plus, I have to have my own infrastructure to even be a part of the gig economy. I have to have a phone, I have to have a car, a suitable car, newer car, all of these things. I don't like it. It's just very hard for me. So that came and knocked people out of their spots. Government gave $1,200 like a Band-Aid one-time payment, and we're now in the third month of being locked down. Now they're starting to open certain things back up, but many of the jobs that people have will not be there for them to return to. So I feel like that, paired with the lockdown and people just being bored and being miserable inside, paired with like the just mental thing, because I don't think a lot of people have discussed that. The mental impact of you've grown up in America your whole life, doing your thing, American flag. Everybody that's American understands that statement, right? Real flag. Been American my whole life. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, because of a flu-like disease, other countries, whoever, government organizations, world organizations calling it a pandemic coup. They locked everything down, closed businesses, gave all of these things, unprecedented in my lifetime in America. And I'm sure the same for many of you. So just the mental piece of that all one day everything was fine. I was going to work, I was driving my car, everything was cool. And the next day I had to be on lockdown and I had to wear a mask everywhere. That, I feel like, messed with the psyche of many Americans, as it should. Like, your degree of normalcy is just taken away overnight. I think all of that, on top of the fact that we live in one of the greatest wealth inequality times in American history as well, like since the Gilded Age, we have way, way, way more have-nots and a sliver of people at the tip top and a bunch of people on the bottom that don't really have nothing. Like the middle class has basically been eviscerated. There is not much of it. The average middle class person I know is living check to check. That's not how it was in my childhood in the 90s and the golden years of middle class. Like, it's just not the same as it was. So I think all of those things contributed to the outrage on the street. Paired with Trump's just negative response, lack of response, ignorance, Okay, I feel like he incites a lot of violence in riots and things that he says. When they start to loot, we start to shoot. All of those things, I think all of that contributed to people being outside. And I do not think that the sole reason for all of this is for the struggle for Black liberation. Call me a pessimist. Say, I don't know what's going on. I'm too old now. I don't get it. But I'm just saying, I feel like that's what's going on. Also, paired with the fact that the average person don't got nowhere to go. We either working from home or they're not working at all. So it is not like these people gave up anything, sacrificed anything, other than their time, which they had plenty of and wanted to give up, to go outside to these marches. It's not the same. People were making posts about like the Montgomery bus boycott and the Greensboro sit-ins, all of these things that lasted for months upon months, and people think that they like did a good deed by showing up to these protests. The other thing that just has me, like, I'm not trying to be rude, but the other thing that has me really more erring on the side of this is very performative is the fact that countless people have been caught pulling up to these protests and stuff to take their quick pic, to take their quick video and skirt out of there. So it just, and then, now that's almost celebrity press. But I live in the suburbs. I live in a very cute, nice neighborhood, no big deal. It's not expensive, it's working class, but it's nice. We had protests, and before the protest could even start, in Riverside, California, there was a plane in the sky flying with a banner that said, "We love the police." There were police on all corners of downtown where the protest was supposed to be, blocking things off, securing things, setting things up. I had a cousin that said she came down with some of her friends, and they told her the police pulled her over because the freeway exits were being closed. So they pull her over and they take her to the side, and they're like, "Okay, you need to go this way. Where are you going?" She said, "We're going to the protest." The police officer told her to keep that shit in San Bernardino. Those were his words. So, Riverside is very, very military friendly. All of my neighbors got some type of military Marine Corps sign or something out in front of their house, Army, whatever. The protesters came. Now, it's a college town as well, so there's liberal people, there's young people, good amount, solid amount. Sunday there's a protest. There's a bunch of people. I say, I don't know, I'm not good at measuring estimates of people, but let's say it was 3,000 people. They pull up downtown, they're walking down the street. They go in to enter the like main corridor of downtown where the courts are and things like that. They're there for not even an hour. And they walk back, and it was like trickles dispersing people. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but what do you think that did, other than got some cops overtime on the weekend? What do you think that did? You are not causing any problems or disturbance to the power structure by making some signs and marching around. I'm not even saying like, oh, go blow stuff up, go loot stuff, because I feel like that also is turned on Black people and it's made to make us look like we're savages and we're crazy and what they always want to use, you're ruining your own neighborhood when they know for a fact we don't own anything out of their design, besides the point. But it's like, even that doesn't really help because they all got insurance money, so they're going to rebuild their store bigger and better than it was before, and they're going to be fine. They're going to take this as a tax deduction, everything's going to be fine. It would be a much better use of people's time to make them suffer, and the only power we really have as individuals is our money. This is America. Use the cards that you were dealt, like deal with people how they deal with you. I know as a Black person in America, when you don't have money, and I don't mean being rich, like when you don't have money on the most basic level, like you can't afford food and shelter, you are treated worse than an animal. Nobody has any regard for you. Nobody cares about you. Nobody feels bad for you. And it's evident in the statistics I showed a few episodes ago that Black people, even though we're 14% of the population in America, we're over 50% of the homeless. So that should tell you something too. We're not well cared for. We're not regarded for. So it would have been a much better use of everybody's time and energy to make the power structure suffer economically, because then they would have no choice but to listen to you. They'd be under the gun, because what keeps this place running is money. You see, as soon as the shoe fell and they closed stuff down, businesses were not even prepared. Places like Cheesecake Factory got to tell their landlord, look, I can't do it. I don't got the money, so I can't pay y'all. People not paying me, so I can't pay y'all. You cannot do that with your landlord. You cannot do that with your gas bill, your electricity bill, your Wi-Fi, your cell. You couldn't do that. But these huge multi-million-dollar corporations basically get what they like to track black people for, welfare from the government to keep their affairs in order. So you, black people, allies of black people, white, purple, yellow, in between, you need to use the tools that they use against us. This is not 1960. It's not 1959. Martin Luther King is dead, killed by our government. Malcolm X killed by our government. Fred Hampton killed by our government. Like Huey P. Newton killed by our government. We can keep on going. Why do you think these people care about you being outside with the sign? Now, it may disturb them. It may annoy them. It messes up the traffic in the city. It does a lot of damage. Like, it annoys them, but it does not hurt them. The only march that I have seen, I feel like, created any change was what I saw in Minnesota, and it's because night one, them people went crazy. So for the rest of the week, they didn't want to play with them because they didn't want to repeat what happened before. And the Black Lives Matter organizer, I'm not sure of her name, but she called their mayor, Jacob, to the carpet and asked him, was he willing to defund the police? And he could not say yes because, duh, he's a politician and he knows the limits of his job. He knows he doesn't have that much power. Not for real, for real. So he could not commit to doing that. And a crowd of people, like I said, I'm not good at estimating numbers, but let's say it was 10,000, and they shamed him. They said, go home, Jacob. They shamed him all the way on the walk, and he was by himself. I get what people like. They like symbolic things and all of that, but it doesn't matter. We need systemic change. We need to overhaul other laws. We need new politicians. We need new government officials. They're supposed to represent us. So, like, the thing that I saw with Jacob, that's why I'm applauding. In Minnesota, y'all had a rhyme or reason to your march, to your demonstration. Called some people to the carpet. Got him on camera. So, and like she said, next year he up for re-election. Guess what we gonna do? I hope that y'all did not re-elect him, but that was pretty obvious through the video, right? All, underline, I want to put it up. All politicians are paid by our taxes. All politicians are voted in through us. All politicians are subject to re-election, even judges, district attorneys. All of these people, superintendents for school, all of these people are public servants. Now, it is on the public to hold these people accountable, to hold their feet to the fire and make sure that they do their job, and not just do their job, but do their job to the level that we want it done because we employ them. You know how at work, you show up late a few times or you're slacking on things, people call you out. There has been nobody, not from our class, and I can only speak for middle class and lower black people, because those are the classes that I belong to. There has not been anyone from our class, our group, holding these people accountable to us, what they owe for us, what they need to do for us. A perfect example would be Mexican people in America. They organize and they get together and they got policies and laws changed for the sole benefit of them. They didn't say, oh no, we can't do that because it will hurt the black people, or we can't do that because the white people will be uncomfortable, or we can't do that because this. No, they're like, this is what we need for us. It will help our group. So this is what we're going to put our money behind and our time and our energy behind. And any candidate that is with this, we will be with you. And here in California, I cannot speak for the whole of America. I'm Californian. Here in California, Mexican people have gotten, they can get IDs and driver's license with no citizenship. Their children can go to public school. Now they can sell things in VIN with no sales permit in certain counties, and they're able to vend and sell food from their homes without going through the proper channels like a restaurant or a food truck or someone would do. All of these laws were changed, basically FUBU style, for them, by them. Black people, I would like to ask you, since 2000, because we're now in 2020, what have we done as a collective, knowing all the problems that we have in America, socioeconomically, with the justice system, the prison industrial complex, this marijuana business that they're starting that we're not being included in on a large scale, even though we bear the brunt of the punishment? What have we done in the past 20 years to advocate for ourselves? I know when it was the H-151 thing where they were going to send children of immigrants, they were going to send their parents home. I know that I was in high school and I helped protest because I had a lot of Mexican friends, and I thought it was wrong when the law was explained to me, and I showed up and we walked out of school and I did my part, what I could for that. At what time, on a large scale, a statewide, citywide scale, have we black people tried to do that for ourselves? I have not seen it. The most prevalent, far-reaching movement that I've seen from black people in the past 20 years has been started by Antonio Moore and Yvette Carnell on their YouTube channel. So you know it don't take much, but just a little effort. On their YouTube channel, and formerly Yvette was with Aramiose Frimpong, they started the ADDYS classification, American Descendants of Slavery, to get us out of the muck and the mire of African American, because it is not properly explain what we are. We're not African American. We did not willingly immigrate from Africa to America. We were brought here as slaves. We're part of the chattel slavery system. Had to go through a whole bunch of bullshit for y'all to let us out. And then we faced Jim Crow segregation and all of that. So it's not the same. So Yvette and Antonio did their part, and they came up with the classification for us. And they have a lot of other people that work with them and help them. If you want to follow them on social media, I'll link them and I'll put them up so you can, give credit where credit is due. And they got reparations on the presidential debate for 2020. Never seen it. I asked black people flat out since I've been, do you think we get reparations for this? Black people say no, it'll never happen. Straight face. Antonio and Yvette deserve all their flowers because they were the first people that I've seen, like I said, in my lifetime, past 20 years, that started and carried it through and got some traction with it. How many people, and I'm really not trying to be disrespectful, but we have to talk about the facts. How many black men have been killed at the hands of police since 2000? From 2000 to 2020, how many have been killed? And even with our first black president, who sat, and I feel like they ramped it up more, because that was like, we paid for Obama being in office with blood, because it ran through the streets his entire office, and he did nothing, even though he was commander-in-chief. And like Trump is pulling all these Trump cards now, Obama could have did something, he chose not to. Because he is a child of immigrants and a white American woman, and he does not see himself in our struggle, the struggle of an ADDYS foundational black American. He does not see himself a part of that struggle. So he did nothing to help. Got up there and sang a song and said Trayvon could have been his son, did nothing to help. So please, even in this time with the protests and all that, and people are talking, oh, Obama said, I don't care. Because when he was president, he had all the tools to do something, and he did nothing. You rode into the office on our back, and gay people, because we know they paid for it, because black people, we don't have no money like that. We couldn't donate large amounts to your campaign and all this stuff. I'm sure the rich black people did, and a little hobnob with you. I know you had many mixers and things at Magic Johnson's house, but down the street, Johnson's, we couldn't afford to host you. So we just went out and drove and voted. And we got nothing. You invited rappers to the White House. Y'all did the swag surf. But on the level of policy and the level of change, we got nothing. Things were repealed under you. I talk about it too much. If you're my friend, if you know me, I know you hate hearing it because I say it so much. The Civil Rights Act got repealed under the first black president. If Martin Luther King was alive, he would have died on the spot. Because wow. Talking about we're past race in America. But now you see, in the time of Trump, the amount of voter suppression and just flat out disgrace and discrimination against people, moving the polls at the last minute, changing the days, all of these things. You see that being done. It is to hurt black people and less enfranchised. But in our post-racial America that Obama came and left in, this is what we have after. People protesting in the streets. Post-racial America is what y'all said. So please, in this time, I don't want to hear nothing about Obama and his family. They're real cute. I'm glad that they're out now getting their hustle on and selling Netflix things and all, but do not bring them up in the struggle for liberation and the freedom of black people because they're not going to help us. They are figureheads at best. And now they're just happy to be a part of the black elite, so they really are not concerned about us. Like, I just want everybody to be on the same page. We are all we got. So now, going into this 2020 election, when the only choices that we have available are Donald Trump or Jim Crow Joe? Which one of those, honestly? Think about America. Forget about what's going on in the street just for a second. America, because that's the choices that we got. Do you really, really think that Jim Crow Joe, who has a history, a sort of history, oh, you can Google it, being vehemently for police and for law and order and against black people, Google his record and the things that he has voted on. Forget what he says. Since he has been a politician, he has done nothing. And because he seems cool, and he was cool Obama, y'all are willing to let him occupy the highest office in the land. I know Trump, lowered that bar to underneath the floor. But if you think Jim Crow Joe is the person that's going to pull us out of this and make us a better America, you're absolutely wrong. So go back and rewind when he said America doesn't need any fundamental changes. He said that in 2020. So now you think, because people fighting and looting and robbing and things going crazy and people are not just singing the song of conformity in America like they usually do. Because people have actually had enough and they're tired. And they're poor and they're tired. And they're hungry and they're tired. And their kids are out of school and they're tired. You think that Jim Crow Joe is the person for this job. You're absolutely wrong. I saw a very interesting tidbit on Twitter that said Bernie Sanders stopped his campaign. He did not rescind his candidacy. So if we all choose and decide to write in Bernie Sanders, that is the president that we will have. I'm not saying Bernie Sanders is a saint. I'm not saying Bernie Sanders is the best advocate for black people, but his policies and the things that he believes in on a grand scale will rise the tide of us. Black people as a collective, I feel, could do much, much better under a Bernie Sanders administration, first of all, than we did under Obama, because we did worse. There's proof, there's studies that black people had a certain amount of votes when he came in and we were less than that when he left. Check it out yourself. Don't believe me. I ain't nobody. We will do much better under Bernie Sanders than we ever will under Jim Crow Joe. So please, people, if you have a heart, if you have a conscience, if you have a mind, write in Bernie Sanders and try, by God, to get this person elected. I do not know what's going to happen. And this is the most uncertain time I have ever lived in this country, being a citizen here. I can't say, that this will, keep up the momentum of the revolt of the 60s and really drive us to change. I really hope it does. I saw things online that are saying July 4th through the 7th, or maybe just the 7th, I'm not sure. We'll cover it here, though, when I get more information. We're going to have a blackout. We're not going to buy anything as a collective. Those are more of the moves that I want to see, because I feel like they will be much more, infinitely more impactful than standing outside with signs getting your ass beat by the police, protesting against the same people. I want to close out politics by saying, arrest the murderers of Breonna Taylor. She was killed viciously in her home, shot 8 times in her bed, and they were in the wrong house. The no-knock warrant laws need to be changed if they have not already, and these people need to go to jail, because you do not fire on a person in bed fearing for your life 8 times. Arrest these people. Not now, but arrest them. And if Breonna so happens to have any children, their lives need to be paid for. Breonna has little sisters, family, people that she was helping out. They need, and money cannot replace life. It can never replace a life. But while I'm grieving, and while I'm in shock, and while I have PTSD, and while I can't sleep at night because my sister or my child has been viciously murdered by the people that I pay with my taxes to protect us, I might need a pool. I might need a bigger house. I might need a nicer car to get to therapy. Arrest the murderers of Breonna Taylor. Have a conscience. Act like you see what is going on around you. Arrest these people and put them in jail. Don't reassign them. Don't let them go and work in another state, no other city like y'all do with these other people. Arrest them. Put them in jail. Treat them like they're black. Might work out. All right? Thank you. And now, so according to Tyler, I have a slight ad. So, am a great proponent of skincare. I love it. I care about it very deeply. I had acne when I was a teenager, and it felt like years and years. And just anything that is for the skin, for the body to make it more beautiful, and if it's natural, I'm all about it. So I was in Georgia a few months ago visiting my good friend as she was recovering from her surgery. Shout out to you, girl. You know I love you. And her friend that was helping to take care of her as well has her own skincare sort of company, and it's called the Darla Jane Company. Now, she is found on Etsy. All of her products are made of natural things, and my favorite from her line is her honey turmeric soap. It is the bomb. When I was in Georgia, I keep saying on the show all the time, I'm a California girl. So I got to Georgia and it was cold, okay? Cold. I had my Trump trench coat on. I was trying to do what I could do, but my face was suffering. My face got very dry. It started to peel and whatnot. And baby gave me some Darla Jane Co. Well, I purchased it because I support Black business. Power to the people. And I washed my face. I put on my moisturizer and maybe in 2 days, everything was good. And I didn't even have like the little discoloration that you get from when your face peels. It was just perfect. So, shout out to the Darla Jane Co. If you are needing any type of body scrub, some good homemade soap, all of these things, check her out on Etsy. The link is below. And follow her on Instagram and just support her because she's a nice, very sweet girl. She, is trying very hard. And we just need to support. We need to lift each other up. I would much rather purchase for the Darla Jane Co. than, some random place at Target where I don't know this. And listen, I'm giving my money to my homegirl. She's going to be cool. So, there we go. For my look of the week segment, I'm not going to do individual looks because it's kind of been like a while and I don't know, get crazy. But I want to talk about the Hanifa digital fashion show that she did. Or I don't know if that's the correct name, but that's what I'm going to call it. She did a 100% rendered, animated, beautiful fashion show. And she got a lot of coverage. But this week, Forbes tried to bill Prada as being the first person to come up with this or to do this. And clearly Hanifa was a few weeks ago. So please give baby her flowers when she needed them. She deserves them. She worked very hard. She learned. She was I don't know if it's 100% self-taught. But I follow her on Twitter, so I saw her over weeks and months, trying this out, rendering the outfits, saying that it wasn't very easy. And then I think I was even the person that told her if she were to pull off a full fashion show, she might be the first. So let's show, and I can put it up. Check out the fashion show. Bomb. First look, this red trumpet style. I love it. The back was beautiful. The denim jumpsuit with the top. With the, what is that called? It's not seersucker. It is that technique, though, that is down on the top. Very cute. And it's body hugging. It's going to be very, very flattering on a range of body forms. Then we have the white halter top with the pockets dress, and it just flowed. It looks like milk. The shadow model had body, so it was filled out. It was beautiful. I love the one sleeve asymmetrical top with the sort of bell-bottomy skirt-looking pants. I thought that was a look, and I think you can go for a range of ages too, and body types as well. The more structured it had a bunch of pulls and a scene at the bottom like grass and ocean. Look, very cute dress, and I think it might be like a detachable bustier sort of thing up top. Very cute. My favorite look of the show was this maxi dress with the one sleeve with the ocean print and the sky print all over. I think that was beautifully done, beautifully executed. I love it. And the way the print is used on it, it's just perfect. So shout out to Hanifa. She had a little documentary that was paired with the show about her home country in Africa, where her mother is from, and how it inspired her and inspired the collection. So Hanifa's been on the scene for a while, but we would love to see more from her, and we want her to get her proper credit as the, first inaugural digital fashion show, viewed on a wide scale. So, Hanifa, flowers, or TamTonight Award for you. Thank you so much for your contributions to the world of fashion, and specifically Black fashion. I hope to see you on a runway when things open back up, because I feel like they are, and great things are coming in the future. I know they are. All right. Now, for one of my favorite parts of the show, we have 106 in parking lot. And this week, this is like rap week on 106 Parking Lot because there's a lot of stuff that came out while I was away, and it's mostly rap stuff I want to cover. So first up is Gunna with his new album. I think this might be album number 2, but I'm not sure. I'm not very familiar with Gunna. I just know his like party songs that I vibe with. And his features, excellent on the feature. But Wunna by Gunna has 18 songs, and I loved 11 of them. And let's go through them very quick. I love ADDYS, featuring Nechie. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I hope so. Blindfold featuring Lil Baby. MOTW. Met Gala. SKYBOX. Argentina. Wunna, of course, the title song. Nasty Girl / On Camera. I love what people are doing now with like the switch up to be on the same song. Love it, love it. Cooler Than a Bitch. Bomb. Do Better. And Far featuring Young Thug. And he's like 1993, A Star Was Born. Gunna. I agree. Same. 93 was a good year. Like fine wine, we Asian, we successful, we do what we can out here. Gunna, I feel that. And I look forward to seeing you on tour. I saw Gunna and Nav with Travis Scott at Astroworld. I think they maybe did 2 or 3 songs, but I would love to see a full show by Gunna to see how he like commands the stage and how he sets up his own show, like what the ambiance and stuff would be like, who his openers would be. So Gunna, things are opening back up. I need you to be on the scene. I don't know if you're gonna do a club tour or something like that, but I'm open to it. Let us know. Then we have Son of a Gun by Key Glock, and this album has 15 songs. I was not familiar with Key Glock at all before this. It sort of came from my Apple Music, and I liked the cover, so I clicked on it. The cover is, I guess, a baby Key Glock with his mom, visiting his mom in jail. Made me click on it, I clicked on it, and the first track, the title track of the album is called Son of a Gun, by the way, is Son of a Gun, and it just, boom, like it kicks through. That's what I want for an album. Like I said when I covered the D Smoke album, how he kicked through with Bullies, that's what this Son of a Gun reminded me of. And it has like an it has like an orchestra element to it that's just crazy to me. And I know some people might say like the sound is too much, but I think that for a rap song, like that was just something that kind of took it over the top of me. So I love Son of a Gun. It will be on the playlist for me. It's just a fire song. Then we got Rich and Blessed Savage. On Rich and Blessed Savage. A song, a jam, might be the hit of the album. Check it out. We got What You Talking About, FYTB. We got One Day, Money Talk, Cream, and Kill Switch. My favorite songs off the Key Glock project. I don't know where Key Glock is from, but I like his accent, and I would love to see how he performs because these songs are very high energy, so I want to see if he matches that energy on stage or if he is another, like, stand-around rapper and just raps. But Key Glock, these songs have a lot of energy, so I hope you match that energy, and I would love to see you on tour. Please, please, please tag me in anything. I will buy my tickets. I'm not shady. And just let me share the Key Glock experience so I can come back and share with my TamTonight family. Thank you so much, Mr. Key Glock. Then, last but certainly not least, we have Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist. Now, I am a California girl, and nothing gets the spot for me like the Alchemist beat. Outside of Dr. Dre, because that's what we all grew up on, but the Alchemist just has a certain type of vibe, and I feel like there's a tiny bit of California, like the beach and sunshine and all of the beats. So, Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist, great duo, but I feel like they do this all the time. Anyway, Freddie Gibbs is like a rapper's rapper. He has incredible flow, wordplay, the skill of it, and his tone of voice is something that I think takes a lot of his rap over the top. It's not something that I pointed out individually, but I was so excited about the Freddie Gibbs album because I love him and I love his freestyles and stuff when he does post them or if he goes to a radio station. So I was very thirsty and happy for this album, and I sent some songs to my brother. And my brother was like, he can rap like that because of his voice, and I'm like, okay, that does make a little sense. Freddie has that radio 70s, sexy voice thing going on, so it does make a lot of his rap sound that much cooler, and the stuff that he says kind of comes off in a different way than if another person said it. So I'll give him that. But Freddie Gibbs, the Alfredo album had 10 songs, and I love 7 of them, which is like incredible odds, especially for me. I'm picky with my songs. So the first song is God is Perfect. Bars, bars, bars. What is it? He says, microphone check, 1, 2, mic checker. To rip that blah, 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 found a lot, I pray to Mecca. Like, oh my God, hit me in the chest. I had turned that up. next song, Scottie Beam. Fucking hella thoughts that I really want me a Scottie Beam. I feel like that's how a lot of you niggas is living. And you need to just rise up and rise above your addiction to hoes and the fact that maybe your mom and daddy didn't give you enough attention when you was young, so you're trying to fuck it out, and just find a nice girl, a black girl if you black, and settle down, be a good person. I don't understand. Why is it so hard? Why do you think sex with strangers is going to improve your life? It's going to bring you more problems. Please, people, be better. Other bars on Scottie Beam, though. Sometimes to be your own damn homies, Judas set Jesus up. A bar, a life bar, too. Keep your eyes on your friends, the homies, not the homies. The revolution is this genocide. My execution might be televised. I feel like that was very time to consider what's going on because I can't see a nipple on Instagram, but I can see a black man get gunned down or murdered viciously by the police. So our priorities in America are very, very skewed. Sex is bad, but murder is fine. Scottie Beam, great song. And I know the real Scottie Beam, podcast all-star, ex-host of a show on Revolt. I'm sure she loves the shout-out. So Scottie Beam is a good, nice, pretty, brown-skinned, wholesome girl out here doing her thing, independent. So thank you for giving the flowers where they are due. And even admitting you're wrong, but just giving, shout out to Scottie because she deserves it. Something to rap about. I think this song is so great. It takes me back to like my childhood rap, like of loving Nas and stuff like that. Because he's like, God made me so crack to give me something to rap about. And I feel like obviously that's not true, right? But just still, as a way of thinking, like, yeah, that is like basically how things happen. Like you have to have a story to tell, and you don't have a story to tell or one that's compelling if you haven't really been through anything. And I think that's a lot of what the older people complain about our generation of rap and what they call mumble rap is like these people don't have anything to say. But I think a lot of them are so young. Some of them do have stories and they have been through things, but I think a lot of people are so young that they are more focused on the turn up instead of like sharing maybe their darkest moments and being very vulnerable and all that to the wide audience that is the public. But an older person that's been through a little more, that actually lived a life and then got into the entertainment business like a Freddie Gibbs, can be more relatable, can have more to talk about in his songs because he actually had a real life. Great song. Baby Shit, great song. Frank Lucas, telling all my hoes that I love them, I'm playing mind games. Well, bitches, after your last dollar, they take your last name. Like, woo! It took me to like that bar specifically, took me to that scene in Casino where Ginger is stealing all the stuff back. You know what I mean? Like, wow, Freddie Gibbs with the bars. I'm not surprised because that's what you do. Then Skinny Suge. Skinny Suge is my song. Skinny Suge and Scottie Beam probably might be my favorite song on the project. The Skinny Suge has some really good bars. I just want to read this one really, really quick because it hit me in my chest. I'm drinking and taking drugs because I can't numb the pain with smoking. Loner, but I hate to be lonely. Fuck a bitch, she fall in love, but I just want to be homies. If I fall off or get locked up, she might fuck on the homies. Most niggas die over love for a bitch or having trust in their homies. Like, Freddie Gibbs, if you get tired of rapping, you need to open up a church. Because these are sermons. Please. The people need this. Especially young black men, because they be the ones that's out here in the struggle and out here making bad decisions. And then, last but not least, we have All Glass. And All Glass has some very deep bars as well. Drop a 42, 750 on automatic drive. Bitches had to get checked. They neglect to respect a nigga mind. Treat a hoe like Andre 3000 ain't fucking with Caroline. Like, I'm telling you, ain't nobody rapping like Freddie Gibbs. Call your daddy, call your boyfriend, call your favorite rapper. Invite them to the battle because they're not going to win. Bring Band-Aids. Bring first aid, bring that spray, peroxide so you can get the wounds. Spray is gonna kill them. And that's that for 106 in parking lot this week. The rap edition. I'm gonna take you over to the Chevy playlist, and usually I give you like smooth stuff, cool stuff, sometimes even a little hype to ride to, but I feel like right now in our climate, you need some music to revolt to. You need some revolution music, some music to both keep your spirits high and keep your mind on the things that are going on. So, first up on the Chevy playlist this week, we got Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud by James Brown, because the elevation of a race cannot happen if we're not proud to be who we are. If we're not proud of our black culture, our heritage, where we come from, we cannot fight for equality of those things, because we don't think that they're about nothing. We're trying to get white people stuff. So no. Say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. Listen to it when you wake up in the morning. Set yourself on the right track. Set your intention for the day. You're Black before you're anything else. So number 2, fuck the police by NWA. Now, I'm from LA, so I feel like everybody knows that song, but some of y'all might not know it. So coming straight from the underground, you need to go listen to a young Ice Cube, who has also been very on it, very on topic. Follow him on Twitter if you don't, because he is laying it out. He don't got time. He turned down his Good Morning American sound like nothing to say to America right now. Ice Cube been about it, still about it. Support Cube and protect him too, because he does not have to do what he's doing. He has a lot of money, a lot of prestige. He could just be in the mansion and do his thing, but he's out speaking, using his platform for the things that he stood up for in the past that he obviously still believes in and is very passionate about. So, fuck police, NWA, and anything else you want to add by Ice Cube, go stream that. 3, we got We Gonna Be Alright by Kendrick Lamar. We used this song in previous protests in the prior years, like in Ferguson and all that, but I feel like it's a song that we need to just bring back out and get it going. This song should be played at all of these things, because if we stick together, we get a plan, we stay on plan, stay on task, we are going to be all right. And let's make it do this, Jacob. We're God's children, the original children of Israel, okay? We're going to be fine. Then we got The Way It Is by Tupac. I see no change. All I see is racist face. Pull the trigger, kill a nigga, he's a hero. Tupac didn't have the bars, still got the bars, and it's sad that decades later, they're just as prevalent and relevant as they were when he first put them out. So, The Way It Is by Tupac, and really anything by Tupac, if you want to just get into that revolutionary vibe, because Tupac was the child of 2 Black Panthers. His mother defended her own case, read the book Panther 21, while she was pregnant with Tupac, incarcerated off of trumped up charges that they blew up some type of botanical garden that you know is bullshit, with Black people going to the botanical garden to blow it up. So, stream that Tupac The Way It Is. And last but not least, we got Land of the Free by the great Joey Badass, very young but ahead of his time. 3 Ks, 2 A's in America. I'm just a black space falling out the nebula. Please, go listen to Joey Badass. I know that in the previous week, he posted something that his music was being censored. It was not available on Apple Music, so I hope that they have changed that since, because this music is very timely and people do need it right now. So if you want to go listen to that whole album by Joey Badass, very on topic. Required reading for the revolution. So that's it for the Chevy playlist. I hope when y'all are out at y'all protests, I told y'all I hope that y'all start doing some economic stuff from the house, but if you must go out, if you must make a sign and get in some people's face, do it to this playlist, all right? And my quote for the week, I love to leave things positive because the world is very crazy. But in this climate, I feel like I need to give you guys a little bit more, I don't know, like substance. Because this is the time for riders. This is not the time for pacifists. So, my quote this week comes from the great Fred Hampton. Killed in his home by police in the bed with his pregnant wife. Young, just brilliant mind, great public speaker. Fred Hampton says, if you dare to struggle, you dare to win. If you dare not to struggle, then damn it, you don't deserve to win. And that's how I feel about everything that's going on right now. Not only will the liberation of Black people help everybody in America, make everything more equitable, like after we did the civil rights struggle, a whole bunch of immigrants got to come over from India and goddamn Abu Dhabi, wherever y'all want us to come from, Nigeria, as educated individuals, and sort of leap over ADDYS, Foundation of Black Americans, to prove that, it could be done, and these Black people are just lazy and blah, blah, blah. So I hope that this time during the revolution, that all of you that have benefited from the prior revolutionary struggles of Black people can come together and help us to win this one, and it will rise your tide as well, because it did before. It's all, and also, we have to start thinking about things in terms of why our political leaders were killed, and not necessarily what's going on all the time. So, Martin Luther King, although he was always, I have a dream speech, he was killed for the Poor People's March on Washington. Fred Hampton was trying to get people socialist and communist type beliefs throughout the Black community. Black Panthers created WIC, created breakfast at school, a lot of things. So a lot of these people that are demonized and put down have done great things and even have been adopted by America, so they don't want to give credit to. So remember that when we're out and we're protesting and we're chanting, remember that this is a fight for much wider things than just black people. It is about us, for sure. It is about us and not being full citizens and not being respected and treated disrespectfully by the police and then taking our lives senselessly. But it is about the wider collective of America bringing justice to that group that they know that we deserve. They know that we need it. And by helping, you're only as good as the least of you. And by right now in America, black people, we are the least of them. We have the least respect, the least advocates, the least resources, the least. We are the least. And don't let our small, little, tiny ecosystem of black celebrities fool you into thinking that the wider population of black people are okay. We are not. So, economic terrorism is what we need to inflict. The street stuff is cool, but we need to stop buying things. We need to stop supporting the business that is America. Fred Hampton, if you dare not to struggle, damn it, you do not deserve to win. Thank you for watching TamTonight. Please subscribe, comment, share, like, repost. Follow me on all socials at TamTonite. Hit that bell for notifications so you can see when I post things. Stay up. Try to keep your head on straight and stay out the way. Please stay out of the way. If you see a cop, if you see a white man with a bow and arrow, opposite way. Because you cannot help in the liberation struggle if you are dead, if you're missing an eye, if you done got fucked up by Charlie and his homies out there with the outfit on, with the uniform on. Please stay up, stay blessed, health is wealth. All power to all the people. See y'all next week.